Show you how I'm going to use an egg carton to create a grid, a planting grid for your garlic or just about any other seed. So if I was to select between the two of them, I would select this one over this one, because the conventional wisdom is this is going to produce larger garlic bulbs than this one will. You'd use this one just for cooking. Now if you take a egg carton and you measure from the edge to the center, it's 1 inch. To the next edge, it's 2 inches, and to the middle of the next one, it's 3 inches from the edges. Now, if you're counting from center to center, that's 2 inches. Each center to center is 2 inches apart. So if you need to plant something, say 4 inches apart, you would skip the middle, and at the 5-inch mark, that would be 4 inches. If you wanted to plant something 6 inches apart, you would skip the next one, and the center of the next one would be 6 inches from the center of the first one. So first, you're selecting the biggest bulb, then you're going to select the biggest clove in those bulbs. Those are going to be the ones you're going to want to plant. So now that I got my grid all laid out here and we understand how it works, I'm going to skip every other dimple, so center to center, and that will give me a 4-inch spacing between each of the garlic bulbs. Now I'm going to skip a row in between there, so that gives me 4 inches in between rows also, between center to center. The other thing I'm doing is creating a zigzag pattern. That helps the spacing also, but allows me to actually put more garlic in a smaller space than I normally probably could. We're just going to put it all in. I'm going to just simply now at this point just cover it all up with my hand. Each one of these garlics here are probably about an inch, inch and a half down from the bottom. Now here's something I like to do, is I'm a big believer in chop and drop. I'm going to take all the corn stalks that were here, I chopped them up, and I'm going to spread them out over the top of this garlic. That's part of my mulch. So all the nutrients that are locked up in this corn that you might have thrown away or whatever, maybe put it in the compost, is now going to compost in place, act as a mulch, and feed the soil life over the winter time. Most of that will be gone by the time spring comes around. It'll all be been turned into worm poop. These are just autumn leaves that I have around. The reason I'm planting in this spot here is because this lettuce will long be gone before the garlic is ready. So basically I'm replanting this garlic, or replanting this bed, before the bed is actually done being used. This is planning ahead, and it's really important to kind of mentally plan ahead these things. Now, because there's lettuce in here, the spacing's not quite as exact, and it really doesn't matter. I'm just putting it in little gaps and spaces. They're still about 4, maybe 6 inches apart at times. And I'm just getting that lettuce put into place, or putting that garlic into place in that lettuce bed. Interplanting. The garlic will have little to no effect on the growth of the lettuce. And like I said, the lettuce will be long gone before the garlic really needs the space. this is the root side, and that's the leaf side. And you want to plant this side down a couple of inches in the ground like this. You don't want to plant it like this. You certainly don't want to plant it like this or like this. You want to plant it root side down, just like that.
Garlic requires a process called vernalization in order to form cloves and to split the bulb into those individual cloves. Vernalization is the process of exposing plants to long periods of cold weather or cold, such as wintertime. Many biennial plants rely on vernalization in order to flower. Crops such as carrots and cabbage need vernalization in order for them to reproduce and to produce their flowers. Fruit trees such as apples, peach, and cherry trees also need a period of cold in order for them to wake up from the dormancy and to produce the flowers required for good fruit production. Other things that we might be familiar with are things such as winter wheat and winter rye. Oftentimes those are artificially vernalized in order to force them into flowering at an earlier point than they would under normal conditions and to produce their grain.
But I'm about to put an old tomato plant, a couple of them, as mulch right over the top of this bed. That's right, that's a tomato plant. I chopped it up. We were just before it was going to freeze. It was still relatively healthy. And instead of throwing it away like a lot of people suggest, or throwing it in the compost, which I don't really have a problem with, right onto the bed it goes, and that'll feed all the soil life over the winter, and it'll be completely gone and turned into worm poop by the time spring comes around. That's right, all that tomato plant will be gone. Now I'm just simply covering it up again with some apple leaves that I have from a crabapple tree I have. I'm going to go for, it'll be a couple of inches deep by the time I'm finished. And that in a nutshell, guys, is how to plant and space your plants using the egg carton method. Simple, easy, and everybody has one. Like, share, and subscribe. Okay, as a very cool little bonus trick here, if you take your hard neck garlic and you turn it around so the roots are facing up, you have your hard stem, and if you go like this, you can pop that stem right out of there. Look at that. Stem pops right out, and the garlic comes right apart, just like that. There's your tip for the end of this video. If you got something out of it, like, share, and subscribe, and I think that is about as cool as it gets. Have a great day.